That's some sweet harp singing, which has nothing to do with the thing that Joanna Newsom plays. Well, not nothing, of course, because it's all music, but or that what is oft pictured in angels' cherubic hands, being strummed by cherubic digits, but rather a like a simple. I feel like it's almost like color-coded notes too, like a really simple way of getting a group to sing together. And you sing in a circle, all facing each other. I've never done it. I'd never even heard of it till about 5-6 years ago, thanks to NPR. Anyway, so that song is Sacred Harp Singers, Great God Attend. American Folklife Center, Library of Congress, no less. But really, none of that has anything to do with anything. It was just a curiosity, if you're curious. And today, let me focus, I think, on the... I wanted to illuminate, if I could, and any Christians out there, feel free to argue with me, a little bit about what God says about man's nature. Yeah. So I'm going to quote from Romans 3, 10 to 18. So hold on, 18 little pieces in here. There is none righteous, no, not one. There is none who understands. There is none who seeks after God. They have all turned aside. They have together become unprofitable. There is none who does good, no, not one. Just in case you didn't get that the first time. Their throat is an open tomb. With their tongues they have practiced deceit. The poison of asps is under their lips. Asps, like, snakes, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways, and the ways of peace they have not known. There is no fear of God before their eyes. Now we know that whatever the law says, it says to those who are under the law, that every mouth may be stopped, and all the world may become guilty before God. Therefore, by the deeds of the law, no flesh will be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. Wow. So, and it's funny to me because, or not funny, well, yeah, it's funny, sure. Everything's funny. My entire life, I guess, I've had that point of view around me, either biblically or through an atheist's perspective, but just that same sense of humanity. So it's funny, I've never encountered anything in opposition to it. And that ruptured thing is also acknowledged pretty much almost, again, by somewhere around 80% of the population, the world's population, has come to go, oh, well, yeah, of course, that's how people are. They're selfish, they're greedy, they're far more preoccupied with the gods of themselves than they are with anything outside of themselves. The Bible calls it sin. Buddhists would probably refer to it as attachment. I'm sure there are other words for it. Please, my Buddhist friends, help me out with the nomenclature. Scientologists call it thetans, little alien pieces clinging to you, alien souls or whatever. That's a little elaborate for me, but heck if I know. And in that is the state, that is the ruptured state, to use story structure that we all, as human beings, has helped made the Hollywood movie system one of the biggest in the world. It has helped spread American culture even farther than United States imperial power can extend. And I believe that's not just because we're now in a Western world where a lot of people have had the Bible revealed to them. I believe it's essential to our very nature, and essential to our very creation, essential to our very selves, just like our corruptness is that at some point, just like in all classic story, there was the state, the beginning state, and then it was ruptured. Our original state was intended to be holy and to be in union with God and dwell on this earth in union with Him as a as a helper and a medium for him to do delicious and wonderful things, which he still can do and does do despite our snarliness and our self-aggrandizement and our just selfishness, man. And that state was ruptured, and now we are what we are. And now we're on this long journey that is existence, that is life, and we're aided the whole way, you know, at night with a pillar of fire, and by day with a cloud. The illumination of God draws us on, until eventually it will come to the end of that cycle, where we'll come all the way back to this beginning with new lessons learned, and the state will be the same but slightly different, having learned all those longed lessons. But right now we're in that interim period where we are all these things. There is none righteous, no, not one. Because what we were intended for is to glorify God. So it's not even necessarily all the the commandments that we break. Oh, I did this thing wrong, I did this thing wrong. But it's also all the stuff we don't do right. All the stuff we are called to do, and all the stuff we are intended to do. And that we were intended to be servants of Him who created us, or that which created us, if you don't like the gender pronoun. And that is our struggle, and that is our, I believe, that's my rehearsal here on this earth, is to get closer and closer to that original state, through no power of my own, through no really massive effort on my own, but just to follow one step at a time, one footfall at a time, the illumination of my Father, who even through that corruption didn't just go, all right, well, you're all disgusting, you lose, destroyed, but actually has again and again and again come to offer aid and offer succor, and even sacrifice of Himself, that we might return to Him. And we invent so many reasons not to do that. But I've never felt so whole and so complete and so right and so buoyed as becoming broken by the knowledge of a being that, and no longer in denial of that, and then being made whole almost just in the same, you know, extended instant, being made whole again through miraculous means, the miraculous illumination and love of the Father and the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. And man, I joy in that. And it's not that I don't become broken again. I stumble and I become broken. But even though I stumble and become broken, I never stumble and become broken alone. I'm never broken alone. I never stumble alone. And not only with the joyful helpmeets that the Lord has placed in my life, but that He is there. That He's there not only picking me up and carrying me on, but He's there to sanctify me and bring me all the way back to that original state. Closer and closer and closer, and that's just what I seek every day. And the fact of being, I truly believe that we are that. And we are still called to love one another, because we're all that. But then we're called to be perfection, and that we can pursue perfection through the power of God. What? Yay! And that might seem contradictory, but it really isn't. They're actually fully explained in and of themselves and to themselves. And I just thank God for that. And that's it. That's what I'm thinking about this morning. Good morning.